Hey everyone, welcome back to the Pageant Project. My next guest is Mina December Smith, who's Miss Vermont Teen All American. She is a founder of Love Your Neighbor VT Inc. I think that's Vermont, isn't it? A
Mhm.
501c3 nonprofit helping youth coping with family/friends struggling with alcohol use and or loss and lending a hand in the Vermont community. Also, a Dance Hope Cure ambassador, bringing awareness to children fighting cancer. A rebel talent model, how to rebel against bullying, and the UVM Children's Hospital Children's Miracle Network champion, with a focus on my disease with Crohn's. Well, Mina, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Do you want to I think you just said you just got back from a dance. Well, no, it was cheerleading, wasn't it?
Cheerleading, yes. It
Why
was
what
very tiring. Let's just say that.
Do you want to give, as I told you, and I think it's very obvious, I had never cheerleaded in my life. What's an average cheerleading practice session like?
Oh, so as soon as we walk in the door, we start with stretching. Like we do cheer jacks and then a bunch of like different stretches to get our bodies warmed up. And then what we did today is we went straight into practicing our routine for the halftime show. And then we warmed up stunting, and I'm a flyer, so I have to get my bases to be able to like catch me safely and everything, and get their hands warm up and everything, stretch it, and then afterwards we did a bunch of sidelines, and those are like kind of like for football, like say if they get a goal or something or a touchdown, um, we have to do like a little cheer or anything, or if it's like was that we do a cheer called First and 10, and that's when we do a little dance and everything. But that's kind of what we did. And we had a couple water breaks, but my coach today, she was very like this, and that. But yeah.
Wait, okay, tell me about, is it called a flyer?
Yes.
Okay, so are these literally the people who get thrown up in the air and then have to land on other people's feet? Is that what a flyer is?
Okay, so um hold on, I'm trying to describe it in the best way. So I have bases and they're like carrying me by my foot, and like right here is where a prep would be. And like what was it? Like if I'm just coming down in a sponge, I go up and then I come down, land like this, and then go onto the ground. But say if they're actually like full on throwing me, they throw me and then they kind of grab me like this in like a cradle position, and then I get flopped down. And then some of like the advanced flyers, like they'll be able to do like flips in the air and everything. And I can do that, but my bases are still freshmen and they still don't know exactly all the like movements and everything. So we're just starting with like preps and extensions, which is really fun though.
This sounds like one of those trust exercises that they sometimes do in corporate offices where you have to lean back and the people behind you are supposed to catch you, but if they don't catch you, you fall on the floor. I mean,
Yes.
you must. Oh, I'm not going to speak for you. Answer me this. Isn't it, don't you get nervous? Obviously, you've competed on the pageant stage and people talk
Mhm.
about nerves all the time. I think I would be more comfortable walking on the pageant stage than being thrown up in the air, relying on someone to catch me so I don't land on my back. Don't you get nervous at all, especially when it's like someone who's new?
Well, well, pretty much ever since I got that concussion like last year, I've kind of had like, oh, I've gotten through the worst, so I think I'll be okay. And like I have been dropped a couple of times this year, but like I'll just get up there. I'm like, okay, let's do it again, because like it's like a learning experience for everyone. And I would say definitely I'm more nervous actually for like like going on stage in front of like millions of people, because it's like I have a speech impediment. So sometimes I'll mess up on my words here and there. So I guess it's more nerve-wracking for me. And what was it ever? Well, when I first joined pageantry, I was very, very shy and I didn't talk a lot. And I would say definitely like pageantry really helped me be who I am today. And like right now, if I didn't have that like experience behind me, I don't know if I would be talking this well. I think I'd just be like, "Oh, hi." But yeah.
I've spoken to many pageant contestants who are very well spoken now, and they say they got into pageantry because their mum put them in pageantry, and that was
Yes.
because they, whenever someone came up to say hello to them, they would literally hide behind their mum's legs and start crying. So I don't think, and it's very hard for me to see that because it's like, well, hang on, you speak so well now, and yet you're telling me that you used to hide behind your mum's legs and just start bawling whenever
Hmm.
anyone said hello. So is that a little bit of your journey as well?
Yes. I mean, my mom kind of found it, was it on Instagram? Well, we were also watching Miss USA, and she was like, Mia, would you be like interested in joining like pageantry? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And she was nervous about it at first too, because so she did pageantry in, what was it, when she lived in California or Texas, and it was very
Right.
different back then. The girls were a lot different from how they are now. They were definitely a little bit meaner and a little more competitive.
Yeah.
Um, so she was a little nervous at first, but ever since I joined, like I have created such a big sisterhood, and these girls are just like amazing. And like the organization that I'm in right now, RPM Productions, um, Miss All American, Paula and Ryan, like they're pretty much like the leaders of the whole entire thing. And I've actually like gotten calls on them. Like that's how like nice and like personable they are. Like genuinely, like they're creating something so big.
Well, that's why I wanted to have a chat with you, is because I
Mm-hmm.
saw there was someone who used to compete in the Miss America system and then competed in the Miss Volunteer America system, and I coached her way back when, and she's done very well in pageants. She's done well in the Miss USA system. Every system she goes into, basically, she does very well. She's just very, very well spoken, very poised, very elegant. And then her mum got in touch with me and said, "Oh, you should really keep an eye on this new system because it's run by RPM and RPM's amazing." And that's why. So when I saw you, it's like, "Oh, I need to talk to someone about this new system because, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this new system, the Miss All American system, under RPM? It's like in its first year, isn't it?"
Mm-hmm. It was, well, it was one of the very first pageants like ever.
Yeah,
Um, but it separated into, what was it, Miss America and Miss USA, because they decided to make their own organizations because, well, I kind of remember the story, but like one wanted to not have the swimsuit, I guess, section
right.
because they didn't want, like, they didn't feel comfortable, whereas Miss USA had that. And so they kind of went on into their own directions. And then they still had Miss All American, but this year they're actually having like teens do it and juniors. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much getting revamped. But yeah.
Yeah. And it looks like they're doing amazing things because,
Hmm.
the comments and the sentiment on social media has been very, very positive. So you would say that you've enjoyed your time with the All American system so far. What have been your most enjoyable moments? Has it been the people you've met? Have you been able to do some cool things with your title?
Well, when we were going to Charleston, um, they had a mental health talk with the girls because it's honestly like it's very hard. Like, say if you win a title and you have to give it back, like you're like, oh, that's like all I ever wanted. What do I do now? And a lot
Yeah.
of girls after that, they get really depressed and everything, and they just kind of wanted to talk to us about like ways to kind of go through that. And also our ambassadors, Noelia and Uma Sophia, they were Miss USA and Miss USA Teen. And they left due to, I guess, unfair treatment. And they kind of talked to us about like how they were feeling and everything, and how much this new organization is going to be really helping the girls. And also, they want to have the girls really show their individuality
Yeah.
because they don't want all the girls to be like exactly the same, because
Mm.
then at that point it's kind of hard to find like someone unique and different. And what I really enjoy what they're doing, because when I went there, like every single girl was different and every single girl had a different story. And all the girls were genuinely so sweet, like so amazing, and I'm in touch with like all of them. And also the winners, like they will like text me so casually and they'll be like, "Oh, how are you doing?" Blah blah blah. And I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, like wow, this is amazing." Like it's an amazing organization. Mm.
Did you get to meet Noelia and Uma Sophia in person?
Yes, they're so sweet. And what was it? Um, we had like what was it? I believe like a we were in Charleston for a week or something like that, and we got to really just know all the girls in that short of a time because we were constantly with each other, and I got to really like know Noelia and all of them, and all the all the winners. The winner is for what was it, Miss Teen All American is here, what was it? We have the junior August, and then the teen is Noelia, and then the miss is McKinley. And I got
Yeah.
to know all of them in the short of time, but they're all very, very sweet. Mm.
I saw the teen name was Noelia. It seems like there's if you want to do well in pageantry, you should just change your name to Noelia. Were you
Mm.
starstruck or fan struck at all to sort of see Noelia and Uma Sophia in person and get to know them so well? Because obviously they're very well known, they're very well
Mhm.
spoken. Was there a bit of like a fangirl moment at all when you got
Oh
to
my
meet them?
goodness. Definitely. And they're so like they're so approachable, and they have like the biggest hearts in the world. Like they're so, how do I put this? Like they're just really sweet and kind and like amazing people. Like they're not like fake at all. Like they genuinely, like they had a conversation with every single girl, like about what you're nervous about, what you think like is going to happen and everything. And they gave like the best advice. Like I was really nervous about like how I'm like what was it, about the interview because it was only 2 minutes long, and I tend to talk a lot because when I was a part of Miss America, our interviews in that organization were 8 minutes long,
Yeah.
so definitely longer than this one. But I was telling her, I have to talk really fast or something? Like, what if I don't get? And she's like, just take a breather, and they're just gonna ask you some really nice questions. And they're just amazing, genuinely.
So would you rather now that you've done long and short interviews, would you rather do the longer one or the shorter one?
Definitely the longer one, because I know by the end of my short interview, I was like, oh wait, I had so much more to say, and the judges started laughing because I was like, I had to, I like, I can talk on and on and on forever about anything. Um, but I would definitely say, like, in that short period of time, the judges were really, really nice. And, like, Paul and Ryan really, like, who they picked. Like, they were just all funny and they made everyone so, like, comfortable.
That's good to hear.
Mhm.
Did you try speaking really quickly at all?
No,
Did
no, I didn't.
that work?
I
No?
listened and I took a breath. And what was it? We had a sizzle reel before.
Yeah.
What was it? We walked into the interview, and it a sizzle reel is like kind of a video of like who we are and everything and what we're doing, and that played, and then they asked us questions based on that sizzle reel and also their paperwork too.
I think when you just shifted to the side there, Mina, I saw behind you a pumpkin. It's coming up to there you go. I mean, it's coming up to Halloween, and it just
Mhm.
I just noticed you're wearing all black. How do you feel about Halloween? Are you getting in the witch spirit already?
Oh, yes, definitely. I'm actually going, what was it? Me and my boyfriend were dressing up as Batman and Catwoman, so I'm very excited for that. And but my mom already has little decorations here and there, and then they're so cute though. And then we have little miniature pumpkins outside too, but it's very cute. Hmm.
You mean like real
Hmm.
miniature pumpkin? So
Hmm.
is your mum or you are you good at carving them?
Um, we haven't actually carved pumpkins in a while, so But I think we might be able to do it this year because was it my little sister? She just turned 4 on August 1st, so she'll be able to carve the pumpkin and everything. She's so sweet. She's so adorable. She's a little bit crazy because she's has the younger child syndrome. What my
She's 4.
mom? Yes, she's 4, but she's
Any
really
child at
funny.
4 is crazy. Um, yeah, Mina, why don't you? So I read out your bio, and there's a lot in there that you obviously do. Why don't you tell the people watching or listening some of the things that you're really passionate about? So, obviously, in pageantry, especially with the Miss All American system, it's not just about being on stage. A lot of the girls, maybe all of the girls, are doing a lot of amazing things off the stage as well, which I think is always nice to see. What are some of the causes that you're most passionate about?
My nonprofit, so I created it. For one, my stepdad, he's a recovering alcoholic, and also my uncle who passed away due to an alcohol-related suicide 2 years ago now. But I created it, Love Your Neighbor and Youth Coping with Family or Friends that are struggling with an alcohol addiction. So I get to talk to schools kind of about like what I went through and also what my stepdad went through. And I also give out these really sweet tote bags, and they have a journal just in case they don't want to talk about their feelings instead of writing
Yeah,
them. I also have like resource cards with one my website and people that you can get into like counselors that you can get in contact with, a little squishy, a bracelet, and a little pin for sobriety. But I really just want to create a safe space for where youth can talk about because I know when I went through it, I only talked about it to my mom because
yeah,
I didn't really know who else to talk about it. And my mom, she is like my best friend, or I'm very close with her. Um, but yeah, I just want to create a safe space for them. And I've I also want to get my nonprofit out there to like the whole entire world pretty much because I think it's such an important topic and I feel like it gets kind of overshadowed sometimes like not a lot of people listen to alcoholism because they think it's very negative when really it's the people who are alcoholics they didn't want this in the first place.
yeah.
They used alcoholism to numb the pain of something, and that's why I think it's so important to get counseling and to want to get help. And I also don't think when you are going through recovery, like you shouldn't be getting treated poorly. You should be getting like uplifted because some people I know like, oh, you're an alcoholic, and it's just hurtful to see because they're trying their best to try to get better. But yeah.
Yeah, I saw an interesting statistic the other day. I think your generation, the generation coming up, they drink the least out of any generation. So drinking on the whole is on the way down. And
Mm,
I'm not sure exactly why, and maybe you have some thoughts, but I think a lot of it, okay, now we're thinking more about health. It's very important, health now, also mental health. I'm sure you're well aware of
mm,
that. But I think younger people, see the effects of alcohol or other addictions for that matter, and they go, well, that obviously is not a positive thing. And so I don't want to partake in that. And so there's a lot of non-alcoholic drinks now, more than ever before. There's
mm,
I think there's one called Biro, which was the company was started by the Spider-Man actor Tom Holland, I think, and
yeah.
that's doing amazingly well. But just talk to me. I mean, it what you went through with your stepdad and your uncle, those are they would be incredibly difficult topics for anyone to talk about. I don't care how old you are.
Mm.
So when you decided to start your nonprofit, I mean, you talk about being scared about speaking. I mean, that must have been terrifying, though. The thought of going, not only speaking, but speaking about something that obviously had, been so personal to you.
Mm. Well, it took me definitely a while to start speaking at schools because at first I was very nervous on how other people would see me. But my friends and family have been so supportive of me, and I really created a community. So now I feel really safe to talk about it. And like I said before, like I just want to get my word out there, and I want other youth to be able to talk about how they're feeling, no matter how long it takes. Because I know it took me a while, but now here I am, and I'm able to talk about it freely. And yeah.
If there's someone who is your age or around your age and is watching or listening to this, and they have a parent or an authority figure who's dealing with a similar issue, such as yourself, do you have any advice for them or words of wisdom? I mean, I can only imagine when you see a parent or step parent going through something difficult, obviously you want them to get help, right?
Mm.
As difficult it is for you, you want them to get help. I mean, and I'm sure you've spoken with people your age with all the school talk that you've been doing, which is amazing. But do you have any words of advice or encouragement for them?
I guess start by talking to your counselors so they kind of get the feel, because once your counselors know, they know like the next steps and everything. And depending on how serious it's like happening at home, like if you're getting abused or anything, then get in touch with the police and everything. But if your parent is just well, if he's just an alcoholic, but if they're trying to get better, I would definitely start talking about it. And I know it's going to be hard at first, but the more that you talk about it, the more I guess you'll get help from it. And also, what also helped me is just writing down my thoughts.
Yeah,
And as soon as I did that, then I'm like, oh, I know what I am thinking. I know what I want to say to these people. And I know that this is something that I'm going through personally, but I know that millions of other people are going through
yeah,
this too. So, and I have these resources, so why not use them and talk to
yeah,
these people? And I guess my advice is just talking. I think it's like the biggest thing that you can do. Just talk to your friends, talk to your family members. Like, I know when my stepdad was going through it, my mom also set boundaries. Like,
mm,
if he was under the influence, he's not allowed in the house or anything. We would call the police if we couldn't find him or anything. And the police officers in Vermont are amazing. They're so sweet, and they had conversations, kind of, and it just setting boundaries too, talking and setting boundaries. I would definitely say are the best advice I could give.
yeah. Amazing.
Mm.
How walk people through the steps of how you created your nonprofit, because that's not an easy thing for anyone to
Mm.
do. You're not exactly old. So, can't even say that, oh, lots and lots of life experience, although I would say life experience is not measured in age necessarily. But what were the steps that you had to go through to actually create a nonprofit?
Hmm. Well, when I first joined pageantry, we had our, what was it, community service, and it first started out with just love your neighbor, and I mostly talked about how everyone deserves to be loved no matter what their walk of life is. I also helped homelessness, and that's why I also work with Spectrum, and they're amazing too. And then afterwards, my second year, when my uncle passed away, that's when I guess I really started doing it, because that's when I started feeling more confident in talking about it, and I realized how big of an issue it was.
Yeah.
And when I joined high school, that's when I guess when it came really big, because I also was a part of a program, Big Picture, and they do a lot of like personal, like we do a lot of projects on ourselves, and I had a lot of free time, so I was able to work on my nonprofit. And then um, I had to make it a nonprofit. Five, so sorry.
501c3.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
um, my mom had to help me a little bit, but now it's finally official, so I guess I can really have the chance to talk to people and be like, oh my goodness, my nonprofit, like it's actually so big now and everything. And I feel like I've definitely touched a lot of people. Um, And also my website, like what we have is like this little you can write little notes. It will say like um how do I put this? It was like, how do you show support to the youth and everything? And like, you write your name and everything, and then a little like commentary at the end, like advice or something. And like, the amount of responses I got on saying like, you got this, like, just talk, and like, it was really amazing. It meant a lot to me because at first I was like, are people going to really
Yeah.
love this, or are they going to be like, oh? But it generally means a lot to me. And I've gotten in touch with so many different organizations who helped me a lot. But yeah.
Okay, so starting a 501(c)(3, I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming you mentioned your mum. I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason she needed to help you is because there's an age factor thing here,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like there are
Yes.
certain things you need to be of adult age before you can sign. But how old were you when you started the 501(c)(3 with your mum's help, obviously?
I actually started it this year. So it finally became that this year. And was it that I needed her help because some of the words I didn't really understand because
Yeah.
I'm only a sophomore, and I was just like, I don't really know what that means yet. And she's like, oh, this and that. But
It's okay. I'm sure there are a lot of adults who wouldn't know
yeah.
what a lot of those words meant. I only ask because I have a good friend who started her own 501(c)(3 as well, and I think she was 12 when she started 12 when she
Oh my
started it. And
goodness.
I remember hearing that and going, "What you started it at?" I mean, I don't know what you were doing at the age of 12, but I certainly wasn't starting 501 C3s. But tell me something. You've mentioned so many different groups, projects, advocacies. So do you have any free time at the moment? I mean, you said you had a lot of free time back then, but you've mentioned so many different things that you're helping with, whether it's your own 501(c)(3, you mentioned a few others. Do you have any free time now? Because you sound like you're pretty busy.
Actually, I this year I had not been as busy. I volunteer here and there. Like, what was it? Recently, yesterday, I volunteered at Spectrum for what was it? Dine to Dine? And what was it? We had artists make these really beautiful bowls, and we had celebrity like servers, and they would serve soup to them and everything. And all the donations went to homeless people, which was really important. Um, but recently, I have actually had a lot of free time, especially I created my schedule so I can still
Yeah.
see my friends, be able to focus on schoolwork because that's definitely my main priority, making sure my
Mhm.
grades are up there. And also just hanging out with my family too, and just
What
sleeping.
Well, yeah, that's when you grow. I say if you want to grow tall, make sure you sleep. What are your favorite or best subjects at school? They may not be the same, by the way. You might really like something and not be good at it. I don't know. You might be good at everything. What are your favorite subjects at school?
My favorite subject is American Studies, so pretty much history class. And then I also really love science. I'm taking a geology class too, and that it's so interesting. And the teacher there, he looks like, do you know Noah Kahn? He's a
Mm,
popular singer. Yeah, he
yeah.
looks exactly like him, and he's very chill. It's really funny. But I've been really enjoying those classes, and I also really like being a sophomore this year because I'm not at the bottom of the pier, a little freshman, and I actually know where I'm going to my classes and everything. But
Okay. Help me out here, Mina. Here
yeah.
here in Australia, we don't actually use the words like sophomore and things like that. We actually just have numbers. So
Oh
it's like
my
1, 2,
goodness.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Year 12 is when you're 18. But
Mhm.
what is it? It's freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Is that correct?
Yes. So the
O-
first one is ninth, 10th,
Yeah.
11th, and then 12. So I'm a 10th grader.
Right. Okay. What do you guys call it when you're in year 7 or year 8 then? So like when you're 13 or 14, are there words for that as well?
No, we just call those middle schoolers. Middle schoolers,
Okay. I feel like I'm
yeah.
getting a cultural education here. So Those were your favorite subjects. Do you have,
Mhm.
and hopefully none of your school teachers are watching this. Do you have any school subjects that you don't like so much?
Probably math. Math, I definitely say I have an IEP in that class actually, so I have a bit of a learning disability, so it takes me a little bit to process things. What was it? But definitely this year I've been getting a lot more help because my teacher, Mr. Aki, he is so funny and so amazing. And then I also have an enhanced studies class, and that's where I also get extra help. And they have been really helping me too. So I feel like this year with math, I'm kind of enjoying it, but still on the fence about it. So I'm like, it may not be my favorite, but I'm open to learn more things about it.
I mean, it sounds like you absolutely hated it before, so you're now on the fence. It sounds like we're moving in the right direction. But let me ask you this. What do you think makes a good teacher? And I'm asking you this because I've interviewed a lot of older contestants, Miss contestants, and they
Mhm.
are either teachers or they want to be teachers. And I used to work in the school system. And I always thought the first thing that a teacher needs to be able to do is to make learning fun, right? You,
Mhm.
you need to make sure the class environment is fun and it's an environment where you feel you can learn. And I've had some teachers like that. And then I've had some other teachers, math teachers mainly, who don't make learning fun. They just sit you down and start writing on the board, and you're like, I don't even know what you're writing. Like, what's that Greek letter over there? And that thing that looks like a
Mhm.
flying UFO. So the thing I'm going to ask you, because you're still in school, what do you think the best teachers you remember? Why were they the best teachers, or what made them your favorite teachers?
My favorite teacher ever was my science teacher in middle school, Miss Lutz. And the reason I liked her is one, she would always come into class every Friday with her dance pants, and they were glittery pants. And she was really, really funny and really sassy, but she always made everyone in the class feel so comfortable. No one felt like afraid to raise their hand or
Yeah,
anything. And she also like wanted us to succeed. She wanted
yeah,
us to grow. So if
yeah.
someone was really stuck on this, she would stop the class and she'd be like, I'm going to help this person.
Mhm.
And she would ask like some kid who knew what they were doing to help like a little bit of the rest of the class, just so they can help that one person so that they can move on with everyone else. And she was generally like the funniest, like quirkiest, like science teacher. Like, oh my goodness. I wish that she was in my high school again. I adore my all my teachers now. They're very funny, but I guess like the best quality is like you were saying, making a fun environment, um, making like really showing that they want their students to succeed in
Yeah,
life and everything. And also I just kind of creating like a bond with each student and
yeah.
like making sure that they're comfortable in this classroom.
Okay.
Mhm.
Let's play a hypothetical game here. Let's pretend about, 5 years from now, whatever, you decide to be a teacher, Mina, right?
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, you decide or are forced to become a math teacher. How would you make math fun? This is a difficult thing because we can talk about making learning fun, but math sometimes is difficult to make fun. How would you make learning math fun? Or is
Oh
that just
my
impossible?
goodness. Well, my teacher, Mr. Ahe, he does taekwondo. So he's always talking about like karate and everything. In class sometimes so he'll bring up the most randomest stories, I swear. And I guess his energy, so I guess, like, being able to keep your energy
Right.
very, like, happy and, like, bubbly and making, like, some jokes to the class, and, like, I guess when he is teaching us math, like, he really explains it, like, deeply for us, and also, like, say if we need help, he, like, sits down with us at our desk and he's like,
Hmm.
"Oh, yeah, 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 this, and that."
Yeah.
And, like, he's not confusing because I know that some teachers, they'll say something and you'll still have a question to that, but he's not one of those teachers, thankfully. So, I would say if I was a math teacher, I guess I would really make sure to keep the class uplifting and fun and make sure I, like, make sure my kid, like my students know what they're doing, I guess. And also kind of like bring my own like life outside of school in and be like, "Oh yeah, I do all these crazy and amazing things." Because I know that some of my teachers will tell us the craziest stories, and I'm always like, "Oh my gosh." Like it just like it makes me happy because I'm like it's awesome. Yeah.
I don't know what school you go to, but I'm very
Mhm.
jealous. I mean, it sounds like the secret to being a good teacher is either wear dance pants, do taekwondo, or look like a celebrity. And it sounds like every teacher in your school is one or more of those things. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 is you'd never want to be that, and 10 is definitely you're planning to be that like as soon as you can. How much do you want to be a math teacher? Like scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, oh my goodness. Like a 6, maybe.
That's not bad.
I I mean, I wanna be when I am in college and everything, I wanna be an archaeologist, or something with, doctoring because 'cause I'm very interested in anything medical, and then I'm also trying to work on my pilot's license. I have 5 hours, so very excited for that. But archaeology, I what was it? When I was little, um, my stepdad actually introduced me to Indiana Jones, and that's how I learned to love. That's what I was like, I wanna do that. I wanna do that. And it's actually so interesting. Like I've learned so many things about it. And the program that I was in, Big Picture, actually, I got to talk to an archaeologist, and I'm trying to get into some of the archaeology programs that they have in Vermont. Sadly, they're in the summer because they're all like the digging exhibits, and
Yeah.
it's getting colder now. Um, but it's really, really cool. But
Okay, I was going to mention Indiana Jones because I wasn't sure whether you'd know about it because Indiana Jones, the first movie, came out long before you were born, right? But
yeah.
given that you know Indiana Jones, and I assume you've watched it,
Oh,
we've
I
got
watched all of
Halloween.
them.
Okay, so we've got Halloween coming up. How can you be going as Catwoman and not going with a fedora and a whip? I mean,
Oh, I should have done that. Oh my goodness.
I
I
mean,
didn't
and
even
after the Indiana
realize that.
theme, Joan, the Indiana theme song and the da 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 da, and you do realize though that archaeology it doesn't involve running away from giant boulders, and
Oh yeah.
or,
I learned that after I researched and everything about it, but I was like, it's close enough. It's close enough. And I think it's just so cool, like how he finds all the lost artifacts, and also he's a teacher as well, and like his students don't even know like how cool he is. Like
yeah,
I feel like once I'm done with being an archaeologist, I definitely want to become like a teacher for history and like tell all my students about all the cool things that I did when I was younger and everything. And I feel like I would have some pretty awesome stories because also like when I become an archaeologist, I want to be able to like preserve these lost artifacts and put them in museums and really protect them because I want to learn a lot about like cultural things and like
yeah.
different religions and everything, and finding I guess like clothing and I just think it's so interesting how far we've come, like
Mm.
from life and everything in general. I'm nerding out to this right now, but I think it's so amazing. And when I was talking to what was it, one of the archaeologists, I was like I was so excited to hear all these amazing things. And I had that meeting with her to kind of ask her about like the different steps you needed to do, like,
Yeah.
oh, you need a master's for this, blah blah blah, and all this. And I was like, oh, that's a lot, but I'm ready for that.
I, I don't know. I know there are qualifications for anything, but I
Mhm.
think the most important thing is that you love what you do.
Oh
And
yeah.
honestly, if you wanted to be an archaeologist, I mean, you also mentioned your pilot's license. It's just kind of, you could fly somewhere, go with your shovel, find a lost tomb, start
It's
respectfully. You don't want to violate someone, but just start digging and see what you find. I think there are so many people in our society who are really good at what they do, and they were
Mhm.
self-taught because they had that real hunger and desire to do. I mean, obviously, you are excited to become an archaeologist, but I mean, do you have a fedora, and do you know how to use the whip? Those are, if forget becoming a doctor, do you have a fedora and do you know how to use a whip? Those are the two most important things, unless TV has lied to me.
I need to get a fedora. I think my dad might have one, but the whip, I don't have that. I should have. I need to talk to my boyfriend about our changing our
Yes.
costumes this year
He can
because
look, he can go as whatever he wants, right? But
so,
Batman is like the main character. Catwoman is like a supporting character. But no matter what you say, she's a supporting character in that universe. He should
Mm.
go, you go as Indy, and he should go as your sidekick. Or at least next year, right? Swoop it. Why do
Oh,
you have to be the sidekick? You go as Indy. Your boyfriend's
that's
gonna
actually
hate me
smart.
for saying this.
He could be like a mummy or something, or like a lost artifact. He could dress up as like
A
a lost
mummy. No,
artifact.
a
Mhm.
mummy. Dress him up in bandages. Wrap him up in bandages, and he won't be able to talk. And has to
Oh
go
my
around making
goodness.
zombie-like sounds. I love the sound of this. I think this is much better than Batman and Catwoman. But anyway, talk to me about pilot's license and flying, and I want to talk about that because I've also done a few hours of flying. I think I've been up 3 times in a small plane and 1 time in a helicopter, which, by the way, is helicopter is the strangest experience. I don't know if you've ever been in one, but in a plane, when you pull back, you get pushed back in your seat. In a helicopter, you don't get any of that. It's like going up in an
Oh
elevator in a
wow.
lift. You pull back a little bit on the seat. It's not like a plane where you have to pull back. In a helicopter,
Mhm.
it's like just a fine movement. It's almost like you think it, and then the helicopter just starts going up, and then you tilt it. But talk to me. What was your first time flying like? Because it must have been exciting, unless you were
Oh my
terrified.
goodness. At first, I was a little nervous, but I was genuinely so excited because I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm pretty much like Indiana Jones." Like I was like, I'm on the next level." But
Yeah.
I like as soon as I got into that plane, it was like amazing. And my what was it? The other pilot, he
The
is
instructor.
so the instructor, he is so funny. He is
Yeah.
like, he's in his 80s, and he is like the most grumpiest, but also most like loving person in the world. And when we're up in the air, like it's just silence. Like it's so peaceful, and like genuinely, I feel like flying is so much more easier than driving. Like, I got
Mm.
my permit actually recently at the beginning of the school year, and I'm 16. So I have to wait a little bit to get my driver's license. But when I first drived, I hit the brakes too hard and I flung my mom across her seat. So I will, cause I'm so used to, like, pulling up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna take this steering wheel and just start pulling up," and, that was the wrong way, let's just say that. So I would say definitely it's gonna stay trend, like, flying is so much easier than driving, and it's much more calmer, and right now, I haven't been flying in a little bit because they don't have their free flights because of money and sponsor
Right.
issues. So I'm gonna try to help them a little bit. Um, but like I said, I only have 5 hours, and you need 40 in total to get
Yeah.
your private pilot. Well, get
Yeah.
your license, and then I'm gonna try to work on to get my private license, and then maybe my commercial. But that's like years ahead. So. I'm very
Yeah.
excited though.
Getting your pilot's license is not cheap. I will
Mhm,
say that you need some funds to help. It sounds like though your first flight, was a lot more peaceful than mine.
mhm.
I've told this story before, but my first flying lesson happened very randomly. I was coaching tennis, and
Mhm.
I happened to say I really want to become a pilot. I've loved planes ever since I was young. I studied aeronautical engineering because I loved planes, like especially American like military jets. I
Mhm.
was obsessed with them. And the school I was working at, the gardener of all things, he overheard me saying that I wanted flying lessons. And I came off the court and he said, "Oh, I heard you want flying lessons." And I said, "Yes." And he said, "I've organized for my friend to take you up in his plane." I was like,
Oh my
"What?" But
goodness.
he just happened to hear, and he was such the nicest guy. But the thing is, Mina, I don't know what
Mhm.
your first plane was. This guy's plane was an ex-Soviet fighter trainer. And
Oh
so
my
it was
gosh.
basically a gigantic engine with a seat bolted on the top. and a couple of wings. And so we go up in this thing, which the loud, you talk about peaceful. This one was very loud. I mean, it's peaceful, but it's not quiet. And he turns to me and goes, "Oh, I heard you know about flying." And I said, like, I know, pull back, go for, I know the basics. I've never done it before. And I said, well, kind of. And he says, okay, let's do a somersault. The first thing I do in my flying lesson, I don't know if this is for you, I doubt it was, pulling back and doing a full like somersault. And by the way, when you are up in the air and you're looking down through the cockpit, and the cockpit is rattling and it's open to the air because I can feel the wind coming through because it's an old fighter trainer. And you're looking down at the ground and it's 10,000 feet beneath you. That was my first flying experience. It sounds like it might have been quite different to yours.
My first flight, we just like went like straight across and maybe like turned to the side. And I thought turning to the side was difficult because I would be looking down and I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Oh, but doing a whole entire flip, oh my goodness. I would have been, oh, that is so scary.
Not, if the thing is, it's funny what you say, like flying is easier than driving. And you're very correct because really all you need to do a somersault is just pull the stick back. That's all. And then your plane ends up doing it. But that was my first flying. My second flying lesson was a much more normal because I went to a flight school. And it sounds like what yours was. But my first flying experience was, I don't know if I'd describe it as peaceful. I would describe it as exciting and maybe slightly terrifying. But that's the way things go. So what are you planning for the future then? So, I mean, you're going to fly your plane and then you're going to be Indiana Jones. Is that the career that we're envisioning for ourselves, maybe 5-10 years from now?
Yes, definitely. And also like I was looking at colleges like University of Hawaii, Tufts, Bowdoin, and depending where I'm at, I want to be able to like fly people to places like as kind of like a private airline, maybe like flying celebrities or something as like a job or anything, or doing commercial, just something that will help me keep afloat in in college. But yeah, I'm so excited for the future and becoming Indiana Jones with the pilot's license.
I think you'll be Mina Jones, not
Mina
Indiana
Jones.
Jones. You might need to change your name. I mean, Hawaii is beautiful. I've been there. I mean, you could certainly take people sightseeing around there in a private plane. I think that's a very easy idea. You mentioned celebrities. Who is your biggest? Like, if you were to pick any one celebrity, and they were now stuck in the plane with you for an hour, and they had no choice, they couldn't jump out. Who would you have in that plane?
Shawn Mendes. Shawn Mendes. I am a huge Shawn Mendes fan. I actually just recently went to his concert a day before my birthday. My birthday is September 26th, and I went on September 25th, and then we watched the concert. And let me tell you, like me and my mom were like bawling our eyes out because he's so like such a happy person, and also like he was just like smiling and tearing up, and like everyone, and he came down off the stage and started giving people hugs, and I wasn't even like getting hugged, and I was like, oh my goodness. It was amazing. And also he genuinely like, I guess like from what I saw, he hasn't been on tour in about 10 years, and the concert that I was at was his first time back.
Wow.
First time back being in America, and he really like, from what I saw, like I genuinely think he probably thought like a lot of people I guess forgot about him, but every single person there like knew all of his songs, his new album, and he's just like, you can tell how big of a heart he has. Like it was amazing. And it went so fast. I wish I could just like go back there and rewatch it, but that would be the person I'd be stuck with, and I would just be like talking to him, and I'd be like, "You are so cool." Like, oh my goodness.
But how are you going to be flying the plane if you're bawling the whole time? You won't be able to see through the tears.
I'll just speak on the intercom. I'll be like, I know that we're not face to face, but I'm your biggest fan.
Mina, he might be jumping out the plane if he's stuck in the plane with you and he's hearing that over. You're supposed to be a tour guide, not telling him how
Oh,
I'm your biggest fan. He'd be like, "Boop," he's out, he's gone. I don't know if I was on stage and I looked out to the audience and everyone was bawling. I might be I might be slightly. I understand where you're coming from, but if everyone is tearing up, I'd be like, oh, maybe I'm singing really badly and it's so out of tune that everyone's just
no,
crying.
everyone like it was there were so many people there. There was like over like 1,000 because we were at what was it? Gillette's, not Gillette Stadium. It was in Boston. Oh, TD Square Garden. TD Garden. But it was so amazing. And I was at like every single fan, like I said, were just singing all the songs. Like everyone knew every single word. And was it anytime like a little bit of a sad song would come out, everyone would pull out their flashlights and start going like, "Oh, we're here for you, Sean. We're here for you, Sean." It was really, really sweet. And then they also was it um every like concert they sometimes have an opener, and they had a really cool opener at the
Mm,
beginning. Um, Eddie, I believe that was his name, and he's like so like rock star
yeah.
vibe. He kind of reminds me of like a vampire. He was like, I don't know what it was. He was just very like, yeah, like it was so he was really, really cool. And him and Shawn Mendes are like pretty close friends from what I could tell.
Yeah.
And all of his band members, like they're all so like talented and amazing. And it was an experience. Like so when I'm on that flight, well, I'm going to be on that flight. I know I am. I know I am. Um, I'm gonna be freaking out, but I'll make sure I'll be a little calm because I don't want him to see like all my emotions. I'll just be like, "Oh yeah, you're Shawn Mendes. Oh yeah, I know who you are." I'll seem calm on the outside, but freaking out inside,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
you might need to put up that poker face. I think it's funny. You got so excited describing the opening act as looking like a vampire. You look like you must have a thing for vampires. So just before, I'll ask you the final
Yes.
10 questions. But just before, I think for Halloween, coming back to that, you go as Mina Jones or Indiana Jones. You should get your boyfriend to go as a vampire. No, I don't know, it's Twilight or what have you.
Oh my
Like, what are we
goodness.
doing? Why are we doing like Batman and Catwoman when you can be Indiana Jones and your boyfriend can be a vampire? That sounds to me so much cooler.
Oh yes, I should totally do it. These are great
Like
ideas.
Batman
I'm gonna
isn't even really a Halloween thing, is it? I
yeah.
mean, Batman's a superhero. Vampire and Indiana Jones sounds much more Halloween to me.
I'm gonna text him right after this and be like, "Hey, you want to be a vampire and I be Mina Jones for
No,
Halloween?"
no, you don't text him that. You text him, change of plans. I'm going as Indiana Jones, and you're going to be a vampire. That's how we do. We don't
Mm,
ask. We ask for forgiveness, not permission. Mina,
oh.
just before I ask you the final 10 questions, is there anyone that you want to say thank you to or give a shout out to, apart from Shawn Mendes?
I guess all the sisters in my sisterhood, like how amazing you guys are and genuine. And thank you so much for being so like, kind. And also Paula and Ryan for creating such a beautiful organization. And also my old directors, Darcy and Brittany from Miss America, from the Vermont. I love you guys so much, and I am here today because of you, and I'm able to talk so freely and so
Mhm.
confident now because of you guys. But yeah,
Perfect.
thank you.
Okay, let's have a random 10 questions to finish. I say random, but they're the same every time. Number one, what is your favorite word?
Oh, ooh, that's hard. Oh my
Doesn't have to be
goodness.
serious, by the way. It could be something
Oh,
silly.
mm, well, have you heard of like the Gen Z language? Like, I
Yes.
guess I've been saying like Sigma a lot. I don't know. I just think it's really funny. My brother told me about it, and right now that's like my new favorite word. I don't even know really what it means. I guess it kind of means like you're cool, I guess. And anytime I'm talking to like my younger cousins, I'm like, "Oh, you're so Sigma." And they're like, "Oh my gosh, you just said that. You're so cool for saying that." So, I guess it's like my favorite word right now. I also really like the word, what was it? Oh, there's another word that they had too in this, the whole my whole generation and their weird
Yeah.
language is
You
very,
you need
very
you need a
silly.
dictionary. Your generation needs a dictionary. I hear so much of the Gen Z slang, and I'm normally pretty good at keeping up because I interview so many of you. But then you guys, oh, that one word got so demure. That drove me crazy because that word didn't mean that. Sigma, ask your math teacher what sigma is. Sigma is literally, it's a Greek letter. I don't know what you guys think it means, but it's like alpha, beta, gamma, delta. And then things like no cap and oh, that eight. And I'm like, what, you guys are speaking English, right? Like I understand the words you're saying, but they make no sense. But anyway, I'm glad you
Mhm.
understand it because I
Mhm.
certainly don't. But what is your least favorite word?
Oh, that's hard too. Um, hate. I think it's too sh too strong of a word. Like, if you really don't like something, just say, "I dislike something," because I feel like
Yeah,
saying that you hate something, I don't know, I just feel like it comes off very, like, sometimes it
yeah.
comes off very hurtful to people. So I would say that is too much of a big of a word. And I don't really like saying that word. I don't think it's a good word at all. Like my mom even says, she's like, Mina, don't say the word hate. It's not good. So I would just say hate. I think that is my least favorite word.
In life, what gets you excited?
Oh my goodness, there's so many things. Um, I guess waking up in the morning and just like being able to have like have an education, have friends who support me, and like I said, like the sisterhood and the pageantry, like I've learned so much from it, and my family in general, like everyone is so supportive, and the community that I made in Vermont, like the amount of people that I've met is incredible. So I guess that.
So that is what gets you excited or what turns
Mhm.
you on. So my next question then is what turns you off?
Oh man, that is a hard question for me. I have not really. Hmm. I don't really know how to answer that question.
That's okay. It
Mhm.
sounds like math might have turned you off before, but it sounds like
Yeah, definitely math, but even that, like, I wouldn't say it, like, it doesn't, like, it definitely makes me think, but it's not exactly, it doesn't make me, like, angry, I guess. Like, I'm not like,
I hope not.
but I am not too sure on that question though.
That's okay. Let's move on.
Mhm.
What sound or noise do you love?
Well, when I used to live in Hawaii, I loved listening to the waves. I think it's
Yeah.
so calming. So sometimes when I have trouble falling asleep, I'll play ocean waves on my phone. And my brother, he's very funny. He'll be like, Mina, turn that off. It is way too loud. And I do not want to hear seagulls right now. And I'm like, but it's so calming too. I guess that is definitely, and just kind of like nature in general. Like, what was it? I like to go on hikes and like
Mm.
hearing like the birds and like the wind in the trees is really, really nice too. Just it, but definitely I would say the beach. And in Vermont, we just live around lakes, so I definitely miss the beach a lot.
I can understand that.
Hmm.
I know you don't like the word hate, so I'll use a different word. What sound or noise do you dislike?
Anything like, I guess like super duper loud, like the fire alarms that go off
Yeah.
sometimes. Those are those are very, very loud. Or like, um, trying to think what else. Uh, like that's hard because I guess like loud noises in general, like super duper loud, like some like ones that you have to cover your ears. But yeah.
Yeah. If you could have any superpower, what would you pick and why?
Ooh, teleportation. I want to be able to teleport. anywhere I want because one, I won't have to pay for a flight because those can be so expensive. And just imagine like being able to like, oh, I want to go to Hawaii, and then you're just there. And then say if you miss your house, like, oh, I want to teleport back to my house and grab a couple things that I forgot. Like I feel like that's so like it sounds so nice. And like I feel like you'd be able to see like so much of the world because of this
Yeah.
power. So definitely teleportation.
We've talked a bit about this before, but what job would you most like to attempt?
Archaeology, and then my pilot's license, being a pilot, and then I have a couple of ideas for jobs, like anything in like doctoring, like the medical. I just want to help people, so
Yeah.
I think that any of those will be amazing.
What job would you not like to attempt,
Hmm.
if there is
Oh
one?
man. I actually I guess something that I have to be like behind a desk and write a ton. Like I want to do something that I'm like having fun a
Yeah.
little bit, and also like I mean I of course like every job you're gonna have to write something down or something like that. But if I'm just sitting at a desk every single day, oh I that's not the job for me. I'm a very like active person, so yeah.
Yeah. Okay, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates or heaven?
Actually, I've never thought of that before. I guess like I just hope like he welcomes me and I'll be able to see, I guess, my family who have passed away, especially my uncle. Like I was really, really close with him. So it was definitely hard on my whole entire family when he passed away. So I guess seeing them and then everyone else. But yeah.
Well, Mina, we've been on the air for over an hour. That wasn't so traumatic, was it? I told you it wasn't going to be difficult.
I know I was so nervous at first and now I'm just like, oh,
Yeah, I told
I
you.
enjoyed it a lot. Thank you so much.
No, you're more than welcome. But thank you so much for coming on. I will keep you on the line for just a sec whilst I hang out with the audience. But thanks everyone for watching, and we will speak to you next time.